Hello everyone, my name is Raphaël Touraton. I am AS Monaco first team dietitian and I'm very happy to give you this presentation about lifestyle and players' performance, the invisible training. Today we'll talk about one of the pillars of the invisible training, which is nutrition. First, and before we delve into this topic, let me introduce you AS Monaco 2023-24 family. The slogan of the club is One Team, because as you can see, and such as in many teams, we are a large staff, a lot of people working daily to help and support the players. When we talk about performance, we all know that there is always a team behind the team. And within this team, I want to highlight our performance department, of which I'm proud to be a member. Our common goal is to ensure and optimize daily our players' fitness, their well-being, their health. From my side, I'm in charge of supporting them from a nutritional perspective. If I were asked to summarize my approach to nutrition into a high-level football context, here are the key points I would use. In fact, these are the recommendations I was given when I joined the pro team staff. Be proactive, because anticipating and proposing are always the key to making the process evolve in a positive way. Focus on basics, especially in the field of nutrition, because a house needs solid foundations before it can have a roof. Enhance autonomy, because I consider that the ultimate aim of my work is to enable players to become independent in the way they consider nutrition as one of the factors in their performance. When you want to talk about nutrition, I think it is very important to use a common language that is easy to understand. This season, we have players from 10 different countries, and although English is used by most of them, many speak in French, Spanish, Portuguese, or German. Using colors and images is a simple and quite universal way to communicate with everyone. Here is the type of support I use on a daily basis with players. It evolves over the weeks, depending on the match schedule, therefore our training schedule, and the associated workload. This season, training takes place most of the time in the morning, meaning players arrive around 1 hour and a half before the session to have breakfast at the training center. When they arrive at the cafeteria, the weekly periodization is displayed on a large screen, and the focus is done on the D-Day and the associated nutritional plan. Here are some examples of the trays composed by the players for their breakfast. The key message is fuel for the work required, meaning adapt your nutrition depending on the day. After training session on the pitch, a snack is always available in the locker room. Most of the players have additional work to do in the gym. Then they go to recovery, do ice baths, care with our physios, etc. In the end, there can be 2 hours between the end of the session on the pitch and the moment players have lunch. The idea is to create an easy and quick opportunity for them to drink and eat, to increase their daily fluid, carbohydrate, and protein intake, and so to help them covering their daily needs. Snack mainly consists of smoothies, protein shake, sliced fresh fruit, and homemade preparation, such as energy ball or sports cake. When they arrive at the cafeteria for lunch, the players are offered a wide choice of preparation cooked daily by our great chef and his team. In addition to the menu of the day, They can also ask for a live cooking proposal where our chef lets his creativity speak while respecting each likes and needs. I still rely on visual support to help the players adapt their nutrition according to the schedule and their nutritional periodization. For example, on a red day, such as match day -1, the focus is to increase carbohydrate intake to fuel glycogen stores. Rice salad as a starter, large portion of quinoa for main, and additional slices of bread are a good way to reach the target. Because of our training schedule, players don't have dinner at the training center. Most of them work with home chef, which is a great way for me to manage their nutrition remotely. For me, it is a teamwork collaboration. I send to the chef weekly periodization, as well as recommendations specific to each player. From their side, the chefs send me the menus and pictures of the dishes they propose to the players to be sure we are all aligned. Players can also take away some food from the training center. This is a great way for the youngest ones who don't want to cook or simply don't know how to cook to ensure they have good nutrition when they are home. And it allows to avoid temptations. Without transition, let's talk about nutrition into the specific match day context. Here is the timeline representing the way we manage nutrition to allow players starting a typical 9 p.m. game well hydrated and fueled. In an earlier kickoff situation, for example 1 p.m., carbohydrate loading strategy is adjusted on match day -1. During a game, there is almost no break, meaning 90 minutes plus additional time of an intermittent high-demanding activity, highlighting the importance of a good nutritional strategy before kickoff, but also at halftime. Sport nutrition guidelines are about X grams of carbohydrate or X milliliters of fluid per kilogram of body weight. But as already discussed, we need to speak the same language with the players. So I try to keep things simple and to be sure that each player finds his game nutritional strategy. Here is what our locker room table can look like, with mainly fluid and carbohydrate options. Friendly games in preseason are good opportunities to try different hydration and fueling strategies with the players. It helps them to find the one that suits and integrate it in their routine during the season. When the game is over and players are back in the locker room, priority is recovery. From a nutritional perspective, we often talk about 3 R's strategy: rehydrate, refuel, and repair. Always easier when the team wins, but necessary whatever the result is to optimize players' recovery, especially in a congested schedule with 2 games per week. Simple and easy to consume food, such as fruit juices, drinkable protein yogurt, or cakes, are a good way to tick the box of this first step of nutritional recovery strategy. Step 2 of nutritional recovery strategy is post-match meal, which can be hard to manage when you play away, depending on the result, the timing before leaving the stadium, catering facilities, and of course, players' likes. Pasta box or sandwiches are the most common options, but players can be bored of it. So when it's possible, I try to provide them street food, which is what they want, but with a good ingredient selection. Here are 2 of the most successful options we had: crepes and tacos, as much appreciated by the players as by the staff people. Till now, I only talked about nutrition from a food perspective. As a sport dietitian, I'm fighting daily for a food-first philosophy. But, as Graham Close well said, food first, but not always food only. Indeed, for specific nutrients such as iron, vitamin D, or omega-3, supplements can be a good option to help players covering their daily needs. Hydration is probably one of the most discussed topics in sports nutrition. It is well documented that dehydration can impact negatively performance. To sensibilize players on sweat losses during training session, we do double weigh-in protocol, especially during summer preseason. It's a simple but very impactful method to help players realizing the importance of a good hydration around a training session. But it's also a good tool to push them hydrate themselves correctly on a daily basis. This season, we also have implemented a urine-specific gravity testing in our matchday -1 routine. All the starters are tested. In case of moderate or high dehydration, some specific advices are given to the players. Let's talk a little about the way nutrition is managed into the whole club. Before working with the first team, I worked within academy, and I really appreciated the connection I had with the first team dietitian. I remember his first words when I started: "Your job is to make my job easier." I fully agree with this, not because now I'm in his position, but because I'm convinced that the earliest players are educated to consider nutrition, the most obvious and natural it is to embrace it into their routine when they become professional. And for these young players, some of whom have been away from home since the age of 12, one of the main things to learn is how to cook. Here are two young players during a cooking workshop. After thinking about a balanced menu, they had to go shopping and then cook for each other. These are not always easy moments for some, but they enable them to acquire a degree of independence and the pride of cooking their first meal on their own. To conclude this presentation, let me tell you a little story. During one of our last matchday -1 dinner at the hotel, a player prepared a plate for himself in which he mixed spaghetti with mashed potatoes. A quite questionable culinary choice that earned him a few laughs from his teammates. One of them asked him, "But why do you mix pasta with mashed potatoes?" I think I will never forget his answer. "Because they are carbohydrates, Mate, and you need to fill up on energy before a game." Moments like that remind me why I love my job, and why I'm so motivated to keep educating and supporting players until they empower themselves in their approach to nutrition as one of the invisible pillars of their performance. Thank you for your attention.